YouTube! What is up? Lucas here, another episode of Fantasy Football Perspective. Thanks for tuning in today on this lovely Wednesday. Bad news out of LA. Cam Akers goes down with an Achilles injury. As an athletic trainer myself, it really sucks seeing people go down with injuries, and it just really sucks. I hate to see that for the young guy. Hope he comes back stronger than ever. Today's topic, we're going to see kind of what the injury entails for Cam Akers' career potentially. I also want to dig into some possible potential candidates to replace him, and maybe some of my personal perspective of where the Rams offense goes from here. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that intro. What's up, guys? I'm trying this new format. Hopefully it works out okay. Putting my face down in the right-hand corner because we're going to go over a lot that's going to involve some of the web browser pages. Again, the topic today, we're going to discuss Cam Akers, what his injury entails for his career, what I would do with Cam Akers if he's on your dynasty roster, and kind of the whole Rams offense altogether. So let's dig in. As you guys probably remember, I am an athletic trainer at heart. I have had the ability to work with probably, I'd say, 4 or 5 Achilles injuries in my tendon repairs, Achilles injuries in my life. My experience with them, it's kind of been all over the chart. Some people bounce right back. Some people experience a lot of atrophy in their calf muscles. The Achilles tendon actually connects your calf muscle to your ankle. The issue is when you rupture this Achilles, you lose the ability to flex and extend your ankle. So they reconnect that, and getting that back is very difficult and takes a long time. People don't return to any sort of sport or even just everyday, like recreational activities such as tennis and stuff like that until usually around a year is when you start getting back to that. I'd say 2 out of the 6 that I've worked with came back, and they were able to get back to where they wanted to pretty pain-free without a limp. And I'd say 2 of the others got back to what they wanted to, but they had some apprehension as far as their gait wasn't completely normal, maybe a slight limp. And I'd say the other 2 were really never able to gain the confidence that they needed to get back to what they needed to. So it's kind of all over the map. This Achilles injury honestly can be a career ending injury. I found this tweet yesterday, and this is kind of a chart. This is by Kyle. Shout out to Kyle. I don't know you, but this is a pretty good research here. This is a list of the previous Achilles tears in the NFL from the running back positions. And the research is suggesting that it's not looking promising for Cam Akers overlook for the long haul. I'm sure you guys remember Marlon Mack last year tore his Achilles, so we don't know what that entails, how he's going to come back. But if you look at the others, you see Deontay Foreman tore his Achilles, never really got going. You see a lot of people, Isaiah Crowell, Mike LaShore, Arian Foster, Beanie Wells, who was only 25, heck of a running back, never came back. This doesn't mean it's impossible for Cam Akers to come back. Look at the late and great Kobe Bryant. Look at Kevin Durant, came back this year. They both had Achilles injuries in basketball, and they returned damn near to the highest level. Kevin Durant had a great season off an Achilles injury. People said he would never look the same. He looked great. And I would say basketball puts a lot of stress on that Achilles injury, just as a football running back was. The only difference is you don't have people trying to tackle you in basketball, so that can make the comeback even a little bit harder. But you lose the ability to make as direct cuts as you once were able to, which can really hamper the running back position. So, Cam Akers, I'm praying for you, man. Hope your rehab goes well. We'd love to see you out there. So let's now discuss where we would go if you have Cam Akers as your running back in a dynasty format. With this research, it's not looking great. I personally, if I had them and I was a win now team, I would be trying to sell him for as much as I can get. You might still be able to get a haul for him, especially from those individuals that have not done the research on previous Achilles injuries or don't realize how bad the Achilles injuries can be. Cam Akers may kill his rehab. The surgery may go right, 100% right, and come back better than ever. But we have to base our decisions as a dynasty fantasy football player. You have to base your decisions off previous research, and what the previous research suggests is Achilles injuries can be, and unfortunately most likely are, career ending. So the research doesn't say anything great. So if I'm a Cam Akers owner in Dynasty, I am trying to sell him for as much as I can, as fast as I can. Obviously, he's going to be out the whole year, so you're not going to touch him in season long. If you guys already had your season long draft and you got Cam Akers, sorry about it. Hopefully you got it handcuffed with Henderson or another guy we're going to talk about, Xavier Jones. Yeah, that's about it. It's a shame. It happens, and injuries happen in sports. It's rough. Cam Akers, praying for you, man. Hope it comes all right. So let's dig into kind of where the LA Rams are going to go now that Cam Akers, they lost their workhorse running back for the year. Everyone's first to jump on the Darrell Henderson Darrell Henderson train. Let's bring up Darrell Henderson's fantasy profile. So he runs a 4.4, pretty fast, 89th, 81st percentile. Speed score is good, 72nd percentile. His agility and burst score aren't the best, and he is a pretty strong individual. He's only seen about 32.8% of the snap share, and he doesn't get much opportunities. If you remember at the beginning of last year, both Cam Akers and Darrell Henderson were getting a lot of their goal line carries taken from Malcolm Brown. Malcolm Brown's out of the picture now, but does that mean that's just all automatically going to go to Darrell Henderson? He's not a very big dude. It weighs 208 pounds, but he's about the size of a lot of safeties and DBs. You look at his receiving work, it's okay. Then let's look at the advanced receiving. His route participation, he runs about 25% of routes, not bad. He does catch a lot. He catches 67% of his routes. Not bad, not bad. But there's never been a question, is the LA Rams just going to hand over the reins to Darrell Henderson? There's rumors out there that Le'Veon Bell might sign, even a Todd Gurley reunitement. But any way you look at it, I think it's going to be a split of some sort. Let's look at his snap percentage of last year, and we're looking at this snap percentage right here. He went from 6%, 43%, 49%. You can do the rest. He never had a game with over 55% snap percentage. I honestly still think, even with that, the injury, it's still going to be max 60% snap percentage. They're going to work someone else in, whether that's Xavier Jones, who we'll dig into in a second, or Jake Funk, a 7th round pick that they got this year. Darrell Henderson did have a couple pop-off games where he had 20, 21 points a couple times. But he just doesn't move the bell enough to say, all right, Darrell Henderson, you're now going to be the workhorse running back for the LA Rams. If you have him in Dynasty, personally, you might be able to get a king's ransom for him right now. And I would be trying to sell that as soon as possible, trying to get as much as possible before they bring someone else in or the next guy we talk about starts taking some snaps from him, and that's Xavier Jones. Xavier Jones was an undrafted running back. He didn't participate in the combine, but his college metrics are off the charts. He got better each year, and look at this last year, 25 total touchdowns in 2019. Mostly played on special teams last year. He has a real chance to carve a workload in this backfield. Um, he he has a lot of raw athletic abilities, although they're not listed on here because he didn't compete in the combine. But he is a shifty guy. I was watching some tape on him. He can move. I think he might carve out kind of like a third down role. He's a little bit taller than Henderson, but they are the same exact weight. He's going to have a role unless they bring in a veteran like Le'Veon or Todd Gurley. So what I would do as a dynasty owner is I would invest in Xavier Jones if you have a free roster spot. I wouldn't draft anyone that's going to contribute. I wouldn't drop anyone that's going to contribute to your team this year. But it could be a sneaky third down PPR type play as a depth piece. As I said, I don't think either Henderson or Jones are going to rule the backfield. I wouldn't trade a king's ransom for Henderson. I saw that he's already going in the third round of a bunch of season-long mock drafts. I'm talking about Henderson, that is. That's no bueno for me. No way. A lot of safer options. You just don't know where this backfield is going to go. Rams as a whole, I honestly think the biggest kind of risers of the offense from this injury is actually Matt Stafford and the wide receivers. I think they're going to run everything through Matt Stafford now. I think they're going to have a Buffalo Bills-esque type offense next year where they, you know how Buffalo has Singletary and Moss, two okay running backs, but everything runs through Josh Allen. I think it's going to be similar with Stafford, Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson, and Tutu Atwell. I think they're going to run everything through the throwing game to open up the passing game. Whereas with Cam Akers, I think they were going to run everything through the run game to open up the passing games. So, hey, Matt Stafford, dark horse MVP. I'm definitely going to put some money on that when I go to Vegas tomorrow, just because it just opens up so much. So that's where I am on everything. Hope that helps out. This is just my perspective on the situation. Liable to be wrong, but based on my previous encounters as an athletic trainer with Achilles injuries, Darrell Henderson's previous usage when he was sharing a backfield with Brown and Akers, just what I think is going to happen. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. Hope you guys have a great Wednesday. New video out Friday. We're going to do a mock draft together finally. I get a lot of requests for that. I'm going to kind of talk through where my mock draft strategy goes. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Peace.